Okay, so it's been a while since I did the last abo video, and I believe I was working on these two pieces in that series. Now I'm going to continue with these two pieces, but before I do that, I want to give you a little bit of an idea of why I'm working with pieces that are kind of small by most people's standards, I guess, these days. And I've got some pieces that I think are representative of the larger size of points made in the US. Now, like I said, these are on the larger size. This is 5 inches long here, a little bit over 5. So this will give you an idea of what I think by looking at, literally thousands of artifacts. This is about the average size. Well, not the average, but the upper range of the average size for points. Between 4 and 5 inches long, and between 1.25 inches to 1 3/4 inches wide. I think this one's the widest one. Yeah, this is 1 3/4 inches wide. Now, the average size of points in the US, in my opinion, are around this size. Okay, and I can easily achieve that with this piece here. Now, with the larger ones, they're too large for this piece. Okay, but the average size is achievable here. And these are different point styles that I reproduced from different areas of the country. I wish I had the actual artifacts, but I don't have that kind of money. I do have some real ones, but they're all broken up. You can't really see the actual size. This to me is like an average Clovis here, and this is a Scottsbluff or Eden. So all of these are within, achievable with this size of Preform. This is a Castroville, Texas type point. This is Pedernales, Texas style point. And this is a Perkiomen or something like that from the Northeast. I'm not sure exactly. Anyway, it gives you an idea why I'm using this particular size Preform. Now, I learned on these smaller sizes because I had limited amounts of material and limited amounts of large preforms, but it's not impossible to get large preforms. Like this one was made by a friend of mine, and I just bought this from him. He sells these for like $4 a pound or something. I can get larger sizes, but I want to demonstrate on these sizes because I think it's more useful. Now, with this size here, this is actually more difficult to work with abo tools than this piece here. The smaller you get, the more difficult it seems, in my view, more difficult it seems to work with natural materials. It's hard to hold the pieces, it's hard to generate enough force to remove flakes, especially on tough material. And but this particular size represents a vast amount of actual artifacts as far as the preform size. And as far as dart points or ladle dart points, I think the average sizes would be these right here. And I'm pretty sure that these were used for ladle dart tips instead of knives, although they can be used as knives too. But for the most part, I think these, you could be pretty safe in saying these are at ladle dart points. Now this one here is a little bit long. I won't be able to make this size here with that size preform. But this also represents a large number of actual artifacts as far in terms of size for at ladle dart points. It's 2 inches long by about 7/8 wide. And I could achieve that with this preform, which I think I'm going to be going for something similar as far as size to this with this preform here. Now, actual arrow points, true arrow points, or what they call bird points sometimes, for arrows shot from bows, range in size in the US from this size on the small side to this size here on the larger side. And I could also make, of course, one of these from this size preform. But this is a little thick and a little large. For arrow points, it's more advantageous to find some waste flakes, or to generate these type of flat flakes and then produce an arrowhead from those flakes, which was done most of the time, I believe. Arrowheads or true arrow points were made the vast majority of times from flakes, and they could be found on sites as waste flakes, or you could generate them using cores like this, where you just remove these large surface flakes and you can get usable material for arrowheads. Okay, that's just a quick explanation on why I'm choosing those particular sizes to work with in these videos. Now, if I break them, I'll find some others that'll replace them that'll be about the same size. Anyway, let me just take some measurements here. This is about 3/4 inches wide by 1.25 long. Now, a lot of people are surprised that the majority of true arrowheads are between these sizes here. They figure that this would be the size of an arrow point, because modern hunters use sizes of this range here. But in ancient times, these are actually the size for at ladle dart tips. Okay. Now, modern hunting laws require that you have, in the majority of cases, 7/8 inch wide with no barbs for your hunting tips made of stone or anything other than steel, if they allow them in your state. I think you can hunt with bone tips in some places. As far as broadheads go, they're pretty standard in size. They're 7/8 to 1 inch wide, I believe. Steel broadheads. Okay, so arrow points here, and I think I'm going to stay zoomed out like this when I'm working on these, instead of zooming in for close-up views of the napping, because I have a lot of close-up views in my videos, so I want you guys to see what it looks like to nap this down and to thin it down in a zoomed out view. Hopefully it'll be useful that way. Okay. Alright, in the next video I'm going to discuss some of the tools and some of the terminology. Alright, that's it.